Hello guys and welcome back to another video. In today's video I'm going to be breaking down how your daily life or your life is the gym for your mind. So the thing that made me come to this conclusion was I started to think, how do I actually train my mind and what makes me develop my life skills? And what I started to think about is literally everything I know has stemmed from my life. And what I mean by your life, like obviously your life is going to inflict and cause the data which is stored within your mind. But I mean like the way that you think, the way that you deal with certain situations, your life skills, like for example, let's say confidence was a life skill, your confidence, where do all these things stem from? And I believe they stem from, well, obviously your life and the situations that are within your life. So because this is the statement, that means you can improve your life or improve your mind by improving your life, or at least studying your own life. So let's take into account for myself. So I've said when in the gym, what helped me to conquer my fears is going to failure. Because I was dissecting the situation and understanding that it wasn't as deep as I thought it was. So the thing that helped me to go past failure when training was, back in the day I used to say, okay then, why am I scared to go to failure? Why am I scared of lifting a weight I've never lifted before? Or just doing more reps than I've done before prior for this weight? I started to think, okay, am I going to hurt myself? Okay. Realistically, if I'm going for a PR, or let's say, for example, basically a PR, I'm trying to hit more reps than I've done for a previous weight. Like, for example, let's say I've done 100 for 4 reps this week, and next week I said I want to do 100 for 5. I'm going to get someone to spot me. Okay, so that takes away the account of the bar crushing my neck because there's somebody who's watching it. Okay, what else could realistically happen? There's not really much that could realistically happen. So why am I scared? So the way that helped me with my situations going forward is because I've now been able to conquer fear, my fear of the bar killing me, of me being scared to go to failure. So something like this that you can take into other aspects of your life. One thing that I used to do, which I always thought was a little bit weird, but I started to basically study myself with the way I handle situations, I handle certain conversations. Like, let's say I was scared to talk to somebody. I would ask myself, why am I scared to talk to this person? Why am I moving a little bit nervous? And the way that this video genuinely came from is because I had to have a tough conversation today. And I said to myself, okay, let me put off the conversation, just leave it for another day. But this actually links to the past video, which was stop expecting different results from the same output. So I was expecting something different to happen without me doing anything. So I said, okay, if I'm going to expect that, let me at least do it. Let me have the conversation and hope that then actually something should change. The conversation happened and something did change. But I was like, okay, let me leave it and then just something will happen miraculously. So I was like, but why am I trying to put away the conversation? I was like, realistically, there is no reason for me to not do it. So that tough situation that I was in personally within my own mind, I was like, okay, I want to do this conversation. Because I want to have the conversation. Now, let's say a certain situation comes that links to this sort of conversation or this sort of aspect that this could happen in. I'm going to be like, I would have had a conversation like this and I've conquered it. It's about getting the points on the board. I've said, okay, I've done it once, I can most likely do it again. That's why when I go to train, I'm not scared of going to failure anymore because I've done it before. So take this into your own life. Let's say there's something that you're scared of doing. Let's say you're scared of approaching that person, approaching somebody who you know you want to talk to. Well, try and approach them. Because, okay, realistically, you're going to find somebody else. So let's say, sadly, this person turns away from you. You're going to be like, okay then, I tried my hardest to approach this person. It didn't work. Okay, but how can I learn from this? Maybe you started when you were speaking to her. Maybe you was a little bit too nervous when you were speaking to her. Maybe you said some of the wrong things. Well, then you can learn from this. You can learn from the mistakes that you made and then implement the things that you've learned into the next conversation. And because you've done it once, you won't be as nervous as you was the first time. Because realistically, everybody's scared of doing something the first time. But after the first time it's done, you can just do it again, again, and again. So, this is how I believe your life changed your mind. The same way that when you're in the gym, let me say the point. So, your body grows physically, but your body grows from physical stress, i.e. lifting weights. But your mind grows from mental stress, i.e. having that difficult conversation. As I said before, with myself when I had to have that difficult conversation, it trained my mind. It made my mind become stronger because the next conversation that I go towards, which I know will be difficult, I can now control it. I can be like, okay then, I've done this before. What is there to fear? When I realize there's nothing to fear, go and do it. And as I said before, you can implement this into your own life, whatever the aspect may be. Maybe you're scared of starting that business. Okay, you're scared of doing it the first time. Realistically, you may fail the first time or you may come up to some next hiccup. Then you're going to be like, okay, I've gone through this hiccup. How can I get out of it? Okay, you've got out of the hiccup now. So the next time something may come again, you won't deal with it the same way. For example, with me and my friends in business, when we was doing, I always refer to the story back because it's basically about my life, but when we was doing dropshipping, we went through a lot of hiccups. But each time, the first time it happened, all of these painful things happened to us, we was all shocked, basically completely brainwashed and dumbfounded at the situation that happened. But now it's like, oh, it's not even something to even be scared about. Something happens, you find the problem, then you also find the solution. Job done. But the only way for us to get to that conclusion was it had to happen to us initially. And the only way we've been able to implement the new things that we've learned is because we allowed that said thing to improve our minds. So this is why I've said your life is the gym for your mind. Everything that you go through within your life is an opportunity for you to learn within your mind. I said, look at every single situation as an opportunity for you to learn something, either about yourself, about the other person, or about life. And this is what I was talking about, the weird aspect which I used to do in my life when I was younger. I used to have conversations with people and only have the conversations just so I could learn something about people. I think I was going through a phase where I was really trying to understand human psychology. And because of that, it caused me to be where I am today, where I'm able to speak to a lot of people and have conversations in a certain demeanor that the average person will say is confidence. But it's only because I've had a lot of conversations to the point where I've had them with the intention of learning something. And because I've learned something, I'm not as bad when having conversations with people that I don't know. But you can also do the same thing within your own life. You can say, okay then, I'm going to talk to this person who I don't know with the sole intention of learning. Okay, you can learn something about yourself. Okay, maybe you can find out, okay, you're scared of talking to the opposite gender. Sure. Okay, let's say you're not scared of that. Let's say you listen to the way that you talk back to me. You said, okay then, I got a little bit too excited. And when I got excited, my tonality increased and I messed up my whole entire articulation. Okay, let's say it was another aspect. Because you have done this deep dive and tried to, what's the word? You've tried to learn about yourself in that situation. You're now able to implement what you've learned into the next conversation. Okay, now let's say we're going to learn about the other person. You can be like, okay then, maybe I approached this person at the wrong time. Maybe another said example. Whatever it may be, you can learn something from that interaction. Which is why I'm saying, once again, your life is the gym for your mind. Every single interaction or every single situation within your life is an opportunity for you to learn something new. For you to be like, okay then, let me take this piece of evidence. Let me take this piece of evidence and put them all into one case study, and then you go back and read it and be like, okay then, I can actually learn something from this and use it within my next situation with my own life. And then finally, I said you have to almost look at your own situations from a third person point of view and try to improve yourself. So when you go through certain things within your life, don't look at it as from you as the main character, but look at it as a side character and be like, okay then, this is what the main character is doing. Okay, how can they improve? Okay, maybe they could stand up straight. Maybe they could do X. Maybe they could do Y. And as you do all these sorts of things within your own life, it strengthens your mind. And then your mind gets stronger. And then you're like, okay then, now when I come to deal with this situation, I can deal with it a lot better because I've seen it before. I've done it before. I've learned from it. And this is exactly how you improve yourself. Thank you for watching. If you're interested in my ebook, The Art of the Identity Shift, it's going to be a step-by-step guide on how you can change yourself and become the person you dream of becoming. That's going to be the top link in the description. If you want to join my school community, the Gold Echelon, where I have all of my courses, weekly group calls, and all of these other good stuff, just click the link underneath that inside the description.